What's up fam, DDP here with the consistency! At the time of recording this, it's been a week since my last video, and I'm hoping to have this edited in one more week, though, let's be honest, I'm probably gonna procrastinate like there's no tomorrow until it's actually tomorrow. Today, I, Danny Diaz, presents to you my favorite Pokemon of every type. Now, while I would be open to just a top 10 Pokemon list, I felt like it was too hard to settle on just 10, so we're doing it based on every type. So everybody watching, make sure to subscribe, or this Pikachu die! Potential murder aside, if you do enjoy this, be sure to leave a like, a comment, and please, 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 subscribe. It helps keep me motivated. Without further ado, let's get it! My favorite bug-type Pokemon is Vikavolt, or Vikavolt, I don't really know. With Scolipede being a close second. You may notice that a lot of these Pokemon will have some form of emotional attachment to me, so despite me thinking that Scolipede is fundamentally better, stronger, and sexier, I had a Vikavolt in middle school named Bailey, so it takes the first slot. There's just something really cute about Vikavolt in a big gross bug type of way. With a cool typing and good special attack stat, I love battling with her. I wish it was a little faster, but it slowly flew its way into my heart. Bailey isn't Beetle Bailey, in case anyone was wondering. It's okay if you edit postscript making. I'm trying to keep these short because there's 18 to go through, technically I think 20, but anyone who's been watching me for a while knows I like to go on tangents, so some are significantly longer. For dark types, we have Incineroar. Primary typings aren't being taken into account because I would only have 6 flying types to choose from. Also on my 8th grade Sun and Moon team, Simba, the female Incineroar, whose gender I didn't realize until the second trial, was the backbone of the team. I think Incineroar's got a unique look and decent stats. Bulky as hell and can Darkest Lariat your ass to next Tuesday. I like to imagine that in an alternate universe, this would go in the fighting type part of this list, and Pokemon fans everywhere would have burnt Game Freak to the ground before Sword and Shield even came out. Now my favorite dragon Pokemon is the dragoniest dragon that ever dragon. It's Salamence. I like Salamence because it's literally just a dragon. Not a shark dragon, or a slug dragon, or a refrigerator dragon. As one of the pseudo-legendaries of Gen 3, he rightfully has the Intimidate ability, because he could bring any other animal's roar to a mere whimper with his noble draconic stature. Tall and menacing, he rules the skies with the ultimate reptile. He also immediately dies to an ice shard, so there's that. With a nice red and blue color and a body made for summer, Salamence is the king salamander. I think his Mega Evolu is just okay, but those don't exist anymore as far as Pokemon is concerned, so it doesn't matter. Now if you figured there'd be at least one evolution on this list, you're right. And if you think there's 2 on this list, you're also right. But if you think there's 3, I haven't finished the list yet, but maybe. All the evolutions are A+, but Jolteon gets points for being on my first somewhat competitive team. Quick as lightning and special attack to hit like also lightning, Jolteon, aka Sparky, was an all-star. I've never missed so many thunders than with Sparky, and those memories will forever be sealed in my heart. Gardevoir is my favorite fairy type, with Sylveon as a close second, so technically there are 2 evolutions on this list. I see Gardevoir as more of a fairy type than a psychic type, and more of Rule 34 material than a Pokemon. I liked Gardevoir way before I knew what an erection even was, and truth be told, I genuinely had a crush on her as a kid. I was first introduced to her as a Pokemon in the original Mystery Dungeon, when she used to talk to you in your dreams, and I thought she was just so cool and caring and cute that I fell in love as a kid. Besides, marrying Pokemon is a thing in the lore, technically, right? Right? Either way, I'm out of that phase now that I'm a sad 20-something, and I recognize her as the awesome Pokemon she is. So my fighting choice might be a bit generic, but we're going with the ever so popular and common Crabominable. It's just so stupid, but that's what I love about it. I kept a Crabrawler on my team for the entirety of Sun and Moon as just a placeholder until it evolved into the beautiful creature I named Eugenia. There will never be another fighting type Pokemon that's better than this. I don't even know if the stats are any good, they're probably garbage, that doesn't matter. It's my little egg monster and I'll love it until the end of time. Now for as common as my last pick was, my fire type is a bit more obscure. You probably won't even remember this Pokemon when I say it, but the name's Charizard, if you don't remember. One of the very first Pokemon I ever had the pleasure of using. I seem to always find some way of incorporating him in any generation of Pokemon I play. Probably because Game Freak keeps shoving him down our throats, but that's besides the point. He was my starter in the original Red. His Mega Evolving, Drowning, No Charging, Solar Beaming ass was the star of my Gen 6 team, and when trying to breed a Charmander for just somewhat competitive with my friends in Sword and Shield play, I got a shiny on like my 5th egg, so I just kind of always end up using him. There's a pretty big divide of Charizard, because if you like him, then all the stuff they keep doing to him is pretty cool to you. But if you think he's overrated and don't like him, all the stuff will just make you hate him more because he's all over the place. I like him, and it's my list, so in terms of birds, we have Pidgeot. It's weird that my favorite flying type Pokemon is just a bird. Like, the most bland of all birds. Like, it's just a bird. That's it. And to that I say, fuck you, I like birds. I think the main reason that it's my best flying type and top bird is just because it's the peak good bird. Every generation has a regional bird, most of which having 2 evolutions, and you can say any of those birds are good or even better than Pidgeot for whatever reason. But no matter how many new birds come along, Pidgeotto will always be a good bird Pokemon and the base of good bird Pokemon. And people really can't crap on it. And I feel like there's something to be said in that. He has a cool Mega Evolu too, but that's whatever. He's an OG, has weirdly good special attack though you wouldn't think it, and I just think he's cool. There's not really that many ghost Pokemon to choose from, but I think Gengar pulls off the ghost type the best. And despite the past 2 also being from the same generation, this isn't Gen 1 bias. I genuinely think that they hit a home run with Gengar. He has a cuteness factor that you would want in any good Pokemon, and the mischievousness, we'll pretend that's a word, of an ideal ghost Pokemon. For anyone who's been playing since the beginning, Gengar was kind of the only ghost type Pokemon you had to choose from until Gen 4. I mean, there was Dusknoir in Gen 3, but I never had a training link, and you probably didn't either, so you just kind of never got him. Was it just me, or did anyone else think Psychic was super effective against ghosts just because of Gengar's poison typing, but you didn't realize it? Just me? Yeah, cool. I'm kind of hoping it's purely coincidental that several Pokemon on my favorites list are considered quote-unquote hot, your words not mine, but Roserade is my favorite grass type, and she's more of a cutie at best. When I first saw her during my Pearl playthrough, I fell in love with her design. The whole masquerade badass thing that she has going on is a good look on anybody, especially with her shiny form. I've definitely seen them mess up a lot of shinies, but this is one of the shinies that they just hit gold on, even though I know for a while they didn't actually design the shinies themselves. I question how she picks things up, but that's for the weird part of the internet to decide. Evolving Budew, I know it's Budew, but I've said it since I was a kid and I'm not going to change. It's one of the few friendship evolutions that I never mind doing anytime I choose her to be on my team. I honestly wouldn't even mind if she never evolved. Rosella's okay, I feel like I have to throw her in here too. Ground, we have Krokorok. He's a crocodile, but he's a ground type? What? Such a simplistic design that's still sexy and chic. On a good day, I can accept Krookodile as my favorite, but for the most part, I think Krokorok is just such a better looking Pokemon. People commonly say that Braixen is the best middle evolution, but my boy can give her a run for her money. Funny enough, I got so used to Ash's Krokorok having sunglasses, I kind of naturally assume that that's how they come. So no matter how many objectively better items I should give Krookodile for competitive battling, I'll always give him the black glasses just for flavor, because, you know, I like to eat glasses. I feel like this Pokemon has fallen out of memory, and I'm very upset by it. But of all the ice types, none are more amazing than the Alolan Ninetales. In fact, I bet you had even forgotten about her until now. Dick. Arguably the best Alolan form, I fell head over heels for the cuteness of Alolan Vulpix, and shed a tear when she evolved. Granted, I'm moo-moo milking it a bit out here, but the point stands that she's great. I forgot what her one move is that's Light Screen or Reflect Super Glue together, but it's cool. I don't know if it's her signature move, but I think so. It's either hers or Aurora's, who was also close to being the runner-up. Speaking of runner-ups, though, Mamoswine is actually getting his own designated slot for this list. I really couldn't decide if I wanted him for best ice type or best ground type, because I love him as both, so I just gave him a halfway slot, because I love him so much. Another banger evolution from Gen 4, Mamoswine is just a fun Pokemon to have in a battle with. Surprisingly fast, give Mamoswine a Choice Scarf and watch him muzzle. And if you don't name them Manny, Ellie, or Peaches exclusively from Ice Age, you don't deserve to have Pokemon. So the Stoutland line are literally just dogs, and they're my favorite normal type. I'm a very offensive type of person, not to mention offensive, so having a Fluffer to just eat hits like he was a fatty going ham at a Golden Corral that was running out of ham, it was a nice change of pace. That analogy was a stretch, but I think I made it work. Mr. Moustache was one of the stars of my Ultra Sun and Moon Nuzlocke. The only downside to him is just that he's also the ace of that Charon guy from Gen 5, and that dude bugs the shit out of me. I suppose every Pokemon has their flaws, and this one is that he hangs out with losers. I've never been allowed to own a dog before, so Stoutland is a good way to live vicariously through my Pokemon character, especially because I've also always wanted to be a little 12-year-old girl. The roster from Gen 8 was kind of mediocre, but it did have some stars, and I think he's the only Gen 8 mon on this list. But being a star in more ways than one, for Poison we have Toxicity. As to why it just starts as a baby is beyond me, but when I first saw it, I knew that it was going to turn into something awesome, or completely stupid. No in-betweens. His ability is honestly probably too good. Just give him something to boost his special attack, hit Boom Burst, and then proceed to one-shot everything. I will say a close runner-up is Scolipede. Ignore my first paragraph, I did work Scolipede in here. For the first few generations, bug-type Pokemon got the short end of the stick bug. Having a bug-type battling with a dragon-type, like we'll just say Salamence, is basically the equivalent of fighting a dragon with still a bug. But Scolipede was one of the first bug-type Pokemon to be good, excluding some exceptions like Heracross, Scyther, Pinsir. That's why Scolipede is in a nice soft spot for me. I also used Scolipede back in my best TCG deck, back when I used to play it. So finally a legendary on this list. I'm not the type to use legendaries unless it's like for a Nuzlocke, but I can never deny my love and respect for Mewtwo. Poet and a tyrant, Mewtwo is too cool not to like, regardless of how many people he enslaves or kills. I unironically quote Mewtwo to this day, and if you don't know what the quote is, it goes, "I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It's what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are." A Pokemon said that. If my school didn't suck and allowed senior quotes, you already know damn well I would have been using his words. With an incredible move pool and amazing stats, Mewtwo will withstand the test of time as just being one of the OG badasses. Honestly, the OG badass. I kinda don't like his Mega Evolutions, I think they're both kinda dumb, but if you know Pokemon, they can't just leave good enough alone. Possibly controversial opinion, but I think Aggron should have been a pseudo-legendary. Change my mind. Okay, I get why he isn't, but he could have been. Like, him and Tyranitar could switch places and no one would bat an eye. They're literally region exclusives in X and Y. And I think probably other games, I don't know. I just want my Steely boy to get the respect he deserves. I think Aggron's design is fantastic and honestly better than Tyranitar's. The progression from Aeron to Lairon to Aggron I think is just very, very well done. And he looks so cool in general too. Plus my favorite element in the periodic table is Argon. Go ahead and comment what your favorite element is the question of the day. Yes, I'm being dead serious. I always love battling with him, and while I don't think he's that good of a battler, I could be wrong, I still had fun with him nonetheless. And unlike everyone else on this list, I do really like Aggron's Mega Evolution. It loses a whole typing, it gets the filter ability, so it can just take hits for days. Oh, what a great design. Honestly, didn't have much to say about Aggron, so we're moving on to Rock. Q transition. We have for Rock, Lycan Rock, Day Form, not that it matters. Truth be told, I've never actually used or even seen in-game the Dusk form, so that's subject to change what my favorite form is. But a Rock type that's finally fast? They nailed the design, and like whipped cream and cherry on top of a waffle, having multiple forms wasn't necessary, but it's appreciated nonetheless. I don't know if Accelerock is Lycanrock's signature move, or if it was just the first Pokemon to have it, simply because it came out in the same gen as that move, but that's who I always associate it with. Giving Rock a priority move was cool, and honestly really what it needed, but it kind of makes you think about how they just slap on different types to the same moves. Giga Impact is the exact same as Rock Wrecker, Blast Burn, Frenzy Plant, Hyper Beam, or like how Flip Turn came out in Gen 8, which is just Volt Switch or U-Turn, but they just take the same move and they're like, ah, it's Water type. I don't know why I like his Day Form better. I think it's just because I appreciate him more as just a good boy dog. If you count Eevee, this is my third dog on the list. Not that it matters, but I'm trying to fill in for time. I saved the best for last because not only is this my favorite water type, but it's my favorite Pokemon in general, and this kind of just worked out alphabetically. Yeah, you didn't even realize this whole list was in alphabetical order, did ya? Idiot. But for my top Pokemon in general, we have Swampert. What a great Pokemon. While Swamp Ass is a friend to no one, Swampert is an amazing companion to all. Swampert's whole line is good. Everyone already likes Mudkip, insert meme here, and Marshtomp is a dipshit. His water ground typing can be thought of as a double-edged sword, but I don't see it that way. Having free immunity and switch-ins to electric types is completely worth the trade-off of being 4 times weak to grass, and it's closer to being a switchblade taped to the end of Excalibur. There's also a whole shipment of Swampert and Gardevoir, insert more memes here, and despite them being completely fake, every time I see an image like this, I'm always like, ah, my boy, go get some. There's also another reoccurring theme, I left the cap lock on, of not liking the Mega Evolutions of my favorite Pokemon. I imagine it's kind of like a don't mess with perfection type of thing in my eyes, but I do not like Swampert's Mega Evolution. Especially when compared to Sceptile's and Blaziken, I think his is just so lackluster. He just gets bigger arms. Why? For Secret Santa, my friend who got me said she was getting me a big stuffed Swampert that hadn't come in yet, and to this day, I'm pretty sure she liked it. So now my goal in life is to get a big ass Swampert plush for myself, or just become a scientist and find a way to genetically engineer a real Swampert, but that would only be after I figured out the formula to making cat girls. Yeah, we're ending the video off on Cat Girls. Peace out, Cat Girl Scouts.